Week 19. Can't believe we made it this far. I can, because I'm all... No, that's wrong. People won't get the irony. No. But genuinely, week 19, that's like 5 weeks away from half a year. It's actually not, is it? It's 6 weeks away, because it's to be 26 times 2. Anyway, it's a long time. So we've got Jan Soukup, Pablo Lopez, don't know the middle name, can't pronounce it, Craftworld, and GiraldeZ. Angel, I'm guessing. So, relatively enjoyable episode, some new stuff, and then just some normal J stuff, which is... Why have I put a downer on that? It should be self-esteem issues, that's what that is. Up show. Shaboosh. We're back in the game. How's my week been, you ask? Why have I not changed my t-shirt, you also ask? Yeah, I forgot about that. But it did cross my mind, and I feel like that's probably the most important thing. It's kind of like if you give a present and it's absolutely shit, at least I thought about it, and what I gave isn't important. The week, though, has been nice. It's been alright. I've enjoyed the rain. I've enjoyed the lack of sun. Am I annoyed about the sun out there? I'm not annoyed. No, I'm not annoyed, but it's slightly irritating, but in a cool way. I don't really know where I'm going with the weather talk. It's probably bad signs when I'm talking about the weather. I like the break. I don't want rain for too long. I don't want sun for too long. I don't mind cloudy. Otherwise, the week's good. Our ever-present Romain, thank you. He reached out with me with an email, which, if you read the comments, which is bloody... it's not abstract, but it's acute. You'd really have to pay attention. Anyway, he emailed me. Now we've got a little plan going, and I will definitely keep you abreast of that information as we go. Basically, I'm going to send him some models, Elder, for the Elder project, and he's going to amazingly paint them for me. Or for the project. It's hard to say. Is it for me or is it for the project? I think it's both, I guess. It's probably me because the project is mine. But thank you. Yeah, thank you. I think it will make sense to do a little collaboration episode when we get nearer the end to talk about our thoughts and the joys of painting Elder. Because if you don't like Elder, I don't know. I find it weird. I do find it weird that other people like any other army but Elder. But there you go. That's what the world's all about. Options. Click the wrong button. So, this week's less intro, probably not, we're already at 2-3 minutes. Less intro, more episodes. I've got to try and wrap this up as well before Albert gets here. Tricky situation. It's not actually, it's just record a normal episode, and when he gets here, he'll be here. Jan, it must be Jan, I'm assuming, instead of Jan. Soukup. I don't know where they're from. That's the thing I really struggle here. You know, because obviously if I knew what country from, I'd nail the voice. Anyway, we are back to looking at models. I think we took probably a 3-week break or maybe a 4-week break, and now I'm like burning with rage to get through some cheeky models. Now, thankfully, this one, I don't know the story behind the model, but I do know one thing. He's definitely wearing a cow, and there are some others. So I feel like some artistic flair has already been thrown in to the mixer. That means that, you know, my commentary is less ill-advised, ill-received, maybe. Who knows? Someone out there knows. But of course, this is very similar, in my opinion, to another model. You'll see, so Jan is the painter. Golemart, I'm assuming, is the company. And Lukac, bloody hell, I didn't even know you could have one of these. I don't think I've ever seen that in my life. That must be the font getting it weird, and maybe it's like an umlaut or some sort of single accent. I don't know. I probably should look that up before saying that stuff. But I've already said it, so I can't look it up. I mean, I could look it up and then retrospectively be like, yeah. Anyway, I didn't know that you could have that above a Z or an S. So I don't know how to say your name. Zaba. There's no R. Ziba. I'm going French for some reason. Anyway, he's a very, very grumpy milker, I guess. I can only assume his job is milking, or he's in fancy dress. He's kind of like a jester in a court or something, and he's actually a dwarf or midget, depending on your stance. Because I noticed that there's actually 4 others just here underneath the name, and then the crest, and he's painted it as a cow. Don't know. There you go. You can see the niblets there from the cow, and he does look pissed off. But then again, working with cows all day long. That said, I've started watching these YouTube channels of like when cows get stuff in their foot, and he's like the cow doctor, and he does things, and he does not look sad, and he is a cow doctor. So, I can't make that statement, basically. I absolutely can make that statement, but it's just founded on nothing. So, he's grumpy because he lives in prehistoric ages, or medieval ages, not prehistoric. That would be nuts that they had iron and helmets and paint and chainmail. Medieval. And he works with cows. I'm imagining that's where he's from. Anyway, bloody hell. The paint job is fantastic. Truly, always with I hope Jan's the painter. Jan's work, it's brilliant. It really is great on too many levels, actually. Like to get the horns to look that way, to get them actually look almost bleached and well used, is very difficult. I can only assume it's really good. Like look at this horn here, this one here. Look at the right at the tip, you've got that little blip. It's just, I suppose it's just like good painters can add nuances that actually make you feel it's real without realizing it. You know, it's a chip in the ivory or the horn, and it's discolored from where dirt's got in. And then obviously as you go down, it goes from white more to orange, and then you have the bush. Very good. The helmet is, I'd like to imagine technique-wise, it's not that difficult. I've never tried to do it, so I don't know. But I'd like to think it's not that difficult. It's a lot of like blotching, maybe some sponges, a lot of inks, or at least watered down acrylics to give that kind of feeling of washed outness, and then obviously adding the blemishes. And then obviously the skin talks about itself. The tonalities, the blending. Fucking hell, you bastard. It's just like, how do you know where to put the damn pink? And then go all the way up to like the beige, and then the browns, the deep browns as well. So you've got here, this side, outrageous highlights here, and then just here is just fucking brown. I've tried to do that. I can't do that. There's also some reds I can see in there and stuff like that. And then the cat's outfit's beautiful as well. Greys and blues and blacks. Very, very small blue. I didn't actually mean to say blue, but I sort of rolled with it. It's good. Thank you, Jan, if that's your name. Then we come to Pablo Lopez, and you can see why I didn't say the middle name. GiraldeZ. Iglesias. I'm not going to try. I already did try, and it failed. This struck me. I actually haven't liked any Games Workshop models that they've done, right, since 2006 when they last did the Metal Harlequins. But the comic interpretation on the N&M on his left power fist saw is, I love it. I was going to say brilliant, but I really do love it. I love this style. But the execution's so good. In a weird way, it's matte, which sure is you could just use like matte varnish or something from AK, but it's more the stylistic shit of putting stuff where it is. Yeah, okay, you can't see my mouse. Forget about that. Yeah, so basically the entire paint job in this, the OSL, the claws, and the matte finish on the black armor, the greens, pretty much everything on that orc makes me like that model a lot. I never thought I'd say that. If I saw that as a box art of Games Workshop, I'd be like, yeah, that's a good model. I don't like the job they did. No offense to anybody who did it. It's just a stylistic choice, I think. So it's these block colors. I think that's what's interesting. It's like on the wrist and everywhere, but specifically if I go to the the fist again. Yeah, it is, because if you look at the blades, look at that top blade on the incline of it. At the very deepest, you've just got that black. Probably not black, probably off black, more grey. And then you just have the base colour, which is that grey, which goes across the whole of the blade. Yeah, there. Oh my god. The black, the grey, edge highlighting, and then just that small amount of white, that proper black, and then the white, and that's all you need. And then look how much it's created in terms of feeling. Basically, there's no hard techniques there. It's all just in the interpretation and the laying down of the colours, and it makes it work so well. I also like the red on the end, implies it's hot. I assume, unless it's OSL from the light on his, wherever that light is, actually it feels like it's just like shining down from the side. And then you've got the Space Wolf lad, and that is also very well painted. I guess the blues, more blues than grey, which is actually quite nice to see. But yeah, so this is obviously work in progress, but I'm very much looking forward to seeing the full. I assume it's a diorama. I'm not sure yet though. But when I see models like this, it does make me think I should paint a lot more and try things out that are a lot more fun. Craftworld. This is good. I like this a lot. Like, I hadn't seen the whips of this or anything other than the final. I assume it's the final because it's got a black background. But I love it. I love it in a perfect way. As in, I think the color schemes and the style from Craftworld fits this so well. Like, I really think controlling pastel colors, I don't know, it feels very difficult. Maybe the colors themselves aren't hard to control, and I don't know. But maybe getting the palette right is the difficult thing, or the magical thing. But I really feel like, well, it's been nailed. Also curious why there's a cat and a dragon. That's just the way life is nowadays, I think. It's also smaller scale than I thought, but it's not a small scale. But yeah, I had to include this. I think I don't have a huge amount to say, other than I'm just shocked at how much I like the piece. This is a piece I could see in my cabinet kind of feeling, rather than just, some pieces, like, they're really well painted, but they're more just, I guess because it's just the subject matter is so nice. It's just a chilled out vibe rather than, war, I guess, which I've seen a lot. So we're all built on war, but it's hard to say. But anyway, yeah, I don't know who the model's from. I tried really hard to find it for about four minutes, which feels like a long time. But I couldn't. Yeah, I just couldn't find anything really. Sadly. But yeah, I do. I love it. It makes me think I should try and do a pastel color on my dragon, but I won't do that. I do not have the skill to get the volumes, to get the colors, to get any of that stuff right. It's probably the least I've ever said about a piece, but the point is, it's here because I like it. No doubt you will see it is darker, and I'm changed. So I'm actually completely different. Basically, Albert came around, and now he's gone. So we jump back in a little bit later than, well, normally I go out already, don't I? But anyway, Angel GiraldeZ, I'm guessing. It's weird that the Z is big. That is weird. I don't think that's a capital Z. So this little bad boy, well, it's kind of like, I have to include it because it's above my knowledge. It's beautiful. Yep, sure. And reminds me of, and I can't say who came first, which is embarrassing, but David's kind of highly saturated, lovely style. Yeah, I kind of want to say how I think it's done, and I'm looking and I'm trying to kind of analyze it, because like for example, there's a lot of volumes on the skin, right? I mean, there's a lot going on there, and this is all from my daughter, by the way. This isn't this t-shirt was fresh when I put this on. Yeah, like, it's not good viewing, is it? Well, I'm being hypercritical, but yeah, it's like being on the radio and pointing. That's how I feel like right now. So I've flabbergasted. Anyway, I don't need to say much more. Angel, it's a very beautifully painted model. I won't try and analyze it at all. I would just say, yeah, nice. And that means we jump over to I don't even know what to call this segment actually. It's kind of like a completely new segment where, yeah, I feel like this is a weird photo to include actually. Obviously, I did it when I was feeling particularly excited. I assumed Albert and I would talk about these images, but we just got down to business, which that sounds weird, which wasn't talking about these things. But recently and currently, I'm trying to paint a jet bike. Sorry, not a jet bike, a Viper. And I know it's hard to imitate stuff because I'm struggling with that right now. But what I'm really struggling with is if you look at the wing plates of the grav tank, for example, where you have the black exhaust pipes, and just above the exhaust pipes on the right, Falcon, you'll see that orange, right? So they're just the fade. And they're all around. They're on the edges and they're on all these different bits. Now, I tried last night to do that with Chimera paints, and F my life, I couldn't even get close to doing the kind of level that I've seen reproduced on these things. So at the moment, that is my joy. That is my beef. It's not, well, it wasn't fun last night because I got nowhere with it. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm actually probably going to go back and paint with the paints that were painted when that tank was used, which was around 97, which means I'm going to be using my favorite 3rd edition 40k paints. I'll be using the old hexagon pots. Maybe it's easier. Maybe it's impossible because those paints are dead, but I'm going to fucking try it, all right? I was browsing through the terrain, because obviously the elder project that I want to work on, and I could not help but see Mr. Mike Maffei, and at the bottom left of that photo is the avatar, and that's the avatar that got me into 40k in all its glory on his paint desk. It's flipping amazing. I personally, because it's something that you see so often, or I saw so often as a kid, and then to see just a photo of it being worked on in real life, I don't know, somehow it's magical. And if you like those kind of era. And also what's really interesting is it's not here, but in the background of another photo in this booklet, he has rolling dowly rolling inks. The pots haven't changed. The cases carrying the pots haven't changed at all. You know the round pots with the screw lids and the black eyedropper thing. And like, I just never considered, which is stupid, that they would use inks. Now obviously they had GW inks, but I never thought they were actually good enough to get the kind of saturation that guys were wanting. So now I know they were just using inks like other artists. It just, I guess growing up with Games Workshop, they pushed so much, their own things, that it didn't occur to me that they were using just everyday things that all artists use that you need to use. But the photo is magical and I do love it for basically 2 reasons. Just a little throwback here of the amount of brushes I have. And to go back to the addiction thing, this was proof. This was after the addiction video. I bought a whole load of Rosemary Co paintbrushes. I did an unboxing, the least useful unboxing you'll ever see. But, useless in terms of, you still gain something. You still spend time with me. Anyway, I had a whole load of Rosemary Co I didn't realise, and I bought a whole load. And now I've got these. And these are all my new brushes. It's excessive when you don't realise, and now I'm finally seeing it all expanding in front of me. Now I have a problem with this palette because I messaged the guys and I was like, the palette's too small, can you please make a bigger one? And they were like, it's an XL palette, you don't need any bigger. I was like, I definitely would like it to be bigger. But I left it for a week with the thing closed and it full of paint, and paint had actually got into the palette, right? Not just on the thing. And look, black mold, I'd like to say maybe it was more than a week, but I think it was like a week or 2 weeks. I've already backtracked. It was a long time. Yeah, I don't know if anybody else has had experience with this, but obviously you can't stop all the mold, can you? But these were touted as forever lasting, and they'll never get moldy, and they are moldy. So that's it. It wasn't really it sounds like I'm attacking them, but it was just interesting that it is everlasting, but it definitely isn't everlasting. It's within reason, and it got a lot less moldy than the or the yellow white. Oh bloody hell! I can't remember the large wet palette that's white and takes a yellow sponge with that special paper. So episode 19, I tried a little bit different. Not that different. So Lionel has corona again. It's his second time having it. Now, I think he got it before COVID was mainstream, because he's quite a trendy guy. And I'm assuming, I think the antibodies last for up to 9 months, right? So kind of makes sense that he got it again. Poor guy. So there's no news desk, which is obviously 2-week rota. We would normally do it. So you have this show. I'll see if I can edit the painting competition one with Anal and Albert and myself, which is good fun, actually. It was totally fun. And as ever, thank you everyone for watching all the way through. Bloody good stuff. And happy weekend.